Yes, and thank you so much for bringing this up. This is a really good point, and for anybody else who is watching and might be dealing with this too, I think that it's great that you mentioned this so that we can talk about it. Luckily, I work in the spiritual field, so I'm pretty familiar with like spiritual protection and things like that, but not everybody is. I use Palo Santo and like dragon's blood type incense for cleansing a lot more than sage. I use crystals. I use all sorts of different things like that, and I make sure to cleanse before and after I do any sort of communication like this. Um, and I used to actually work at a spiritual shop for 5 years, which is how I had really easy access to speak to a few psychics about my situation and have them do some readings on the property to get a little extra info. And they gave me a lot of really good suggestions as well. But ultimately, I guess Los Angeles is full of these portals. The more research I've done, there are just different vortexes all over the world, and Los Angeles area is one of them. There are a lot of thin spots in the veil, and I've heard the entire thing is a type of energy vortex. I won't get into that quite here, um, but I thought you brought up a really good point, and I appreciated you asking because if I'm dealing with this, I'm not the only one. So if anybody else is watching and you're dealing with it, like this user said here, please look into protecting yourself spiritually. Or even if you decide to, feel inspired from the content I make and want to use these types of apps, it's good to know what you're getting into and just have some sort of protection in mind. And also, just as a whole side note, I want to say don't always trust whatever you get. If a spirit tells you that they are someone you know or like a family member, just ask for confirmation, ask for something from them that only, you guys would know. Just like anyone online can pretend to be anyone else, or a phone call can spoof someone else's number, a spirit can pretend or say that it's something that it's not. So it's always good to verify and don't, just take it with a grain of salt.